Hi, it's Mayor Jeff Schielke speaking to you on Friday, May 22nd, 2020. And as all of us well appreciate, we are in the throngs of the coronavirus issue, and it has greatly altered the way of life in our town as it has in every town throughout the United States of America. Uh, I want to begin today by just sharing, let's get rid of the bad news quickly so that we can get on to the more favorable things. But I'm sorry to report that we've had to make a decision that the Batavia 4th of July fireworks has to be postponed again because of the uh, outlining of social distancing and the issues of bringing too many people together in too close a quarters. And so we have made a decision to cancel it. We've already paid for the fireworks, so we've got some fireworks, and so what we're going to do is maybe have a couple of smaller shows later in this year. And I'm hesitant to say when those are going to be yet because we're going to wait and see how the world opens itself up. But that's one of the things that we've got kind of in the background. Another thing, unfortunately, we had to cancel was the groundbreaking for the Flag Day. It's a grand memorial down at next to City Hall here by the Peg Bond Center. That's still very well alive and well. Funding for it continues, and so that's just been delayed because of this activity. And so things aren't stopped, they're just delayed. And I think that has to be kind of the message that's out there. Another thing that certainly has been a very problematic thing for a lot of people is all the graduation exercises that this type of year generates. And I've had a lot of excited, happy parents and grandparents share with me stories of their grandson graduating from first grade and going to second grade. And then I've had other grandparents tell me about their granddaughter is graduating with a master's from Harvard, and others from Yale, and others from the University of Chicago, and the University of Illinois, and Notre Dame. So I'm very proud of the educational level that Batavia has here. We've got a whole bunch of people that specifically have come out of the Batavia School District and have really gone forward to make great educational advances for themselves. And this is the time of year when all that gets said. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of outside of families maybe getting together. There's many of the exercises, unfortunately, were canceled, as they were for Batavia High School this year, which was kind of a double disappointment in my opinion, because this would have been the 150th graduating class of Batavia High School. Batavia High School was originally founded in 1870, and this would have been the 150th bicentennial graduation. And while it's still going to take place hopefully later in the summer, it was a shame that it couldn't go forward as fast, and I know some folks did some stuff to kind of commemorate that as best they could, given the constraints that are on the governments at the moment. But one thing I would like to say, I want to thank the community for your understanding and support of us trying to run this program based on the governor's orders and what we can and cannot do. And there's been some second guessing by some folks as to what should be or should not be done. We've tried to stay within the rules of it, and I think at the end of the day what I'm very pleased about is the fact that Batavia's corona number is one of the lower ones in the Chicagoland region. And so I would venture to make the statement that Batavia's commitment to try to maintain all the rules that are on the masking and social distancing and not gathering in large groups, that is something that we have taken very seriously, and I appreciate the community's support in that, and I think we have shown some results because of it. We are going to be kind of loosening things up. I am being told that the 29th of this month, on May 29th, the governor has revised his orders, and it is going to allow for personal businesses that do hair salons and haircuts and nail filing, all that's going to be allowed to be reopened with constraints on masking and distancing and how many people can be in the building. So that will be opening, and I serve on the governor's committee here to talk about this, so hopefully I've been an active voice in trying to promote that most all the businesses should be allowed to be reopened as long as they do have constraints in, and I'm very proud of one I was just at yesterday, the Batavia Walmart store. They got people right at the front door sitting there and won't let you come in the building until you have a mask on. So it's good to see that we do have that commitment going forth. A week from tomorrow, on the 30th of May, is going to be the first Batavia's Farmers Market of 2020. And it's going to be on River Street, as we've done in the past. It is going to be somewhat redesigned, though, with the great support of our outstanding crews that we have at the Batavia Main Street Organization and at the Batavia Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be able to put, we think, everybody in place, but we have to kind of somewhat restrict it to food vendors only at the moment till we know more about what the governor's order is going to say about other types of businesses being allowed to come in and sell. But hopefully they'll be there, and they should be starting more going further north than has been the case previously. It looks like we're going to try to take it from Wilson Street up to Spring Street, but we're going to have to socially distance each one of the booths by some distance. So that will be a little bit different configuration, and we just ask for everybody's cooperation on that. As you may know, is around town right now, there's a lot of things happening. Main Street is under reconstruction from Water Street out to Whipple there. Prairie Street is under reconstruction from the railroad tracks at Wilson all the way down to Pine Street. And a good piece of news, although it doesn't directly involve the city because it's not our project, the Fabian Parkway Bridge renovations are nearing completion, I am being told, by the Kane County Highway Department. And so that kind of little configuration of congestion is hopefully going to be cleaned up in the very, very near future. We also, coming very quickly, the City of Batavia is going to put out a community survey in which we're going to seek residents' input into various things that are happening in the city government, and just trying to gain some sentiment of how people feel about what things are going on. We've hired a firm to come in and give us a random sampling of people in town that have been chosen to receive this survey. But I've certainly thought we should need also to allow anybody that wants to fill out one of the surveys to do so. So that will be coming to your opportunity if you want to do it. So anybody in town that wants to have their voice heard in the community survey sponsored by the city, and you'll start seeing and hearing some of that in the next couple of weeks as we begin to put that stuff out. Batavia remains a buzz of activity. We've got a lot of permits, building permits for home remodeling, home repair, people wanting to put swimming pools in their backyard, both above ground and below ground. We've got several of our large apartment complexes and townhome complexes putting new roofs on their buildings, and also other improvements on their sites. So it's heartening to see commitment by so many of our homeowners associations and businesses wanting to do stuff that kind of makes them better citizens of Batavia. I want to also make a couple of comments here before I close. Number one, we're going to try this week again to just put at the end of this show this videotape that was done by Shumway Studios at 30 South Shumway Avenue at the corner there at 1st Street in Shumway. They've done a nice video. It's set to music, and it's about Batavia, showing some very favorable and familiar scenes to all of us. So I would encourage you to stand by after I get through talking, and this will run. It's not that long, but I think you'll enjoy seeing the scenery of it if you hadn't. Some people couldn't connect to it last week, so we're trying to redo it this week to get more people to see it. Again, I think it speaks to the talent of businesses that we have in our community, and Shumway Studios does a lot with drones and technology. So if anybody needs a kind of a razzle-dazzle video made of a family reunion or whatever, they would be somebody to talk to. And I want to end this week by noting that this coming Monday, the United States of America is going to observe National Memorial Day. And that has always been a very special day in the life of Batavia, because we do have a very honorable and proud record of residents from our community who gave the ultimate sacrifice in the loss of their life in defense of the liberties of the United States of America. And if you go up to the corner of Batavia Avenue and Wilson Street, there is a war memorial plaque, kitty corner from the library, and it's been there since World War II times, and it was made so that it could be added on to. And so right now we have all those from our town who were lost in World War I. Their names are on there. Everybody from World War II, everybody from Korean War, everybody from Vietnam, and fortunately we have not had any in the Middle East conflicts. And so right now there are, I believe, 46 names on those plaques up there that name the individuals from our town who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And I just want to close by expressing a prayer and thanks and appreciation for them for some really outstanding work in the defense of our country and helping us keep this great world that we do live in as far as the United States goes. And let us go forth and remember each one of those individuals with pride and honor for their efforts to maintain the world that we now pass on to future generations to live in. I thank you for your attention, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.